Moving on, how do we bring it to India, right? How does it impact to companies in India? And here I am clearly addressing two stakeholders which are also represented in the audience today. There are representatives of the US MNCs or European MNCs, and then there are legal compliance professionals, helping Indian companies who have now expanding a lot and working with so many international jurisdiction. So there is a direct impact, as I said, the subsidiaries of the Indian companies, their employees, directors, they are directly impacted and prosecuted because a regulator wants to understand who was that individual at the heart of, creating this conspiracy and, implementing this, illegal scheme, and who was this individual at a lower or a higher level who then made sure that no one talks about it and it keep going and improper payments keep getting made. So there is clearly an individual liability to the senior leaders or whoever is involved in the transactions. There is an indirect impact which I already spoke about. A lot of us are working as service providers, contractors, advisors, distributors, third-party intermediaries, turnkey contractors, for executing the business services for a lot of US clients. And when we do this, people sign anti-bribery declarations, and this is a pitfall because people sign declarations with companies and then they come under the pressure of individuals. The contract is never with an individual. He may be an MD of the company in India, he may be a vice president in Asia, but ultimately, if the instruction that you are getting from a US company executive, and this is a specific advice to the folks from Indian companies, that please go back to the contract and say, what does the contract say? I always give this tip to salespeople when I do these trainings, that sometimes when they get a phone call or a pressure on phone call from a senior executive to get into an act of bribery or ask the distributor to get into an act of bribery, and that phone call comes, the simple thing that you have to do to save your own job is to say, sir, please write me an email. And that senior executive is smart enough that he or she will not create a challenge for his or her job by writing that email. And if the pressure becomes too much, then you go ahead and write an email saying that today we had a call in which you were instructing me to do so and so. According to my understanding, this is not according to the code of conduct of the company. Can you please clarify what do you want me to do? The moment you write this email, you are serving two purposes. You are saving your own job because you are recording that you are not part of it. And secondly, you're making the whole system alert that you cannot be pressurized by people, right? So likewise, when this kind of pressure comes from the US folks, representative of the US companies, my advice to Indian company, people would be to record it to say that this is not according to the terms of the contract. Can you please clarify in more details what do you want us to do in writing? And then they will get the message. Normally, US company representatives are very careful, but you never sometimes people may have pressures and and temptations, and sometimes these things can happen. So when you sign anti-bribery declarations, you are expected to understand the consequences and you are expected to have that internal controls. Now there is a gap. There is a lot of paper compliance that you see around. A lot of Indian companies and US companies, they collaborate, they work together, they sign contracts, they have anti-bribery policy. But beyond their own systems, many Indian subsidiaries of US companies have not been historically going. Now that it's changing a lot, but have not been going to the distributors, third parties, and helping them with the tools to say, what is the right way of bookkeeping? What is the right way of maintaining your internal controls? What is the right way to have proper supporting evidence? What is the right way to have proper narration of all the expenses? What is the right way to make sure that if there is an audit of a distributor by the principal company, that you are able to generate enough confidence that you are not only following the principles and provisions of the anti-bribery declaration or FCPA on paper, but you are following it in spirit. So training of the distributor staff, maintaining internal controls, all these gaps need to be bridged, where more efforts are warranted on the part of Indian subsidiaries of the US MNCs while they are dealing with their third parties in India, so that the understanding evolves, tools are shared, and systems are created, because both the parties are, as I said, in the same boat. Rules of the game equally apply for both. So it is imperative that both parties understand what is the right way to have the right system and prevent the risk of bribery. So that gap is getting gradually breached. A lot of companies are nowadays getting into monitoring of the distributors, training of the distributors, helping them understand. So therefore, this paper compliance in absence of absence of inconsistent practices in real life doesn't make sense. It can create reputational risk, and therefore US prosecutors are very keen. I'm told that there is a list of 50 executives from various companies that US regulators have, that they are looking at prosecuting them, in their personal capacity, in the criminal prosecution, because it is believed or it is alleged that those executives were at the heart of thrashing a scheme of bribery and implementing it, and they were pushing the system to ignore the risk and keep quiet about it. So US prosecutors are very keen to know who are those individuals. Therefore, it is important to be a little bit selfish and save our own job, and then make sure that the reputation of our company is saved, make sure that the risk of millions of dollars of penalty is avoided, make sure that business continuity is ensured, and make sure that our trust with our customers shouldn't question, am I supposed to use the product of this company who's doing business in a corrupt way, right? So protect that equity that we have with the customers as well.
Welcome to Complinity Technologies. Complinity is India's leading governance, risk and compliance software helping companies to manage their compliance, contracts, litigation, legal updates, inter-financial controls and more. Complinity is a one-stop shop for all GRC needs. With our proprietary 12 GRC modules and real-time legal updates on 2,000+ laws and 24,000+ compliances, all in an integrated platform that is easy to use with automated alerts and risk management capabilities, is why compliance managers, general counsels and chief financial officers choose Complinity every time. Join the most innovative and prestigious brands that use Complinity. Automating your compliance management. Request a demo at complinity.com.